Yo, man. Welcome back to another episode of For the Love of the Game. The long-awaited debut of James Harden, who was traded for Ben Simmons on February 10th, finally happened last night. 76ers beat the Timberwolves 133-102. We get our first glimpse of James Harden and Joel Embiid. How would they mash up all the questions, ball dominant, everything that could happen. James has 27 points, 12 assists, 8 rebounds, 7 for 12 shooting, 5 of 7 from the 3, and his plus minus was a plus 35. His counterpart, his partner in crime, Joel, had 34 points, 10 rebounds, 10 of 18 shooting. Joel at the end of the game said he loved playing with James for the first time. It was the most open he's ever been in his career. Now, some of that is, shout out to James, and some of that is Timberwolves' bad defense. All right. In their first game together, though, James Harden and Joel Embiid combined for 61 points, 18 rebounds, and 15 assists. But this isn't the first for James Harden. James Harden has always been amazing in his debut with teams. You look back to the Rockets, he had 37.6 rebounds and 12 assists. Debut with the Nets, he had 32 points, 12 rebounds, 14 assists. And then yesterday, debut with the 76ers, 27 points, 8 rebounds, 12 assists. The first half, though, I will say there were a couple possessions where I think, as you would in any first game together, they had some points where they had to figure out what was going on. Because early on, I seen them play through James and Joel. James sat for the first time in the first quarter, his first break. And they actually went straight dump down to Joel. Typical 76ers basketball pre-James Harden. Come down, get in a set, make sure the ball gets a post touch. Once they started doing that, the Timberwolves started double teaming. They actually created so much more ball movement from that, and it immediately clicked. That's how they need to play with James Harden on the floor as well. While James is still meshing, I don't think it needs to be such a Joel eats and then James eats. I think it needs to be a we play through Joel Embiid, and then when Joel sits, we play through James Harden. It doesn't need to be we play through both of them while they're on the floor, and then James sits and we play through Joel. Joel's earned that respect. He's earned everything from that team to be that first option. Play through Joel. When Joel sits, you let James Harden be James Harden. Overall, though, James was on one. He had about 5 to 6 step backs, old-fashioned step backs, getting into the paint and ones. Him and Joel both are physical, and they draw a lot of fouls, so they were at the free throw line a ton of times. But overall, it was a great passing game overall because they have 42 made field goals on 30 assists. So yes, James Harden there, he's facilitating, but it's not just James and Joel. Because once they can carry their part, and then you factor in whatever you get from the other guys, that's a bonus. Like tonight, it was Tyrese Maxey. I think Tyrese Maxey had like 28 points, right? And here's a guy who could possibly creep his way into making this thing a big three. All right, crazy enough, hear me out. You got your two-headed monster with James and Joel. Whatever you get from Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris is a plus. So if they can produce big minutes for you, this can become a big three. Tyrese Maxey averages 17 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. He's 3 points off from being a guy who can average 20 points a game. If you get another scorer who can give you 20 points a game, plus Tobias is like 15 or so, you're in a great position, especially come playoffs time, when defenses are focused on taking your number 1 and number 2 options away. Tyrese Maxey being a young, fearless, and a reliable guard who's close to averaging 20 points is very beneficial. Him being fearless works for you as a pro because he has the ability to take and make big shots. So again, when defenses are tighten up on your 2 guys and you need somebody who can come off and create a shot for themselves, Tyrese Maxey is that guy. He gets in the lane, he has a floater. We see him use his floater all the time. And he's a two-way, so he brings the intensity on both sides of the floor. That is someone you need when your superstars may not feel like doing that work. And again, he's fearless. So I don't think he'll shrink in big moments, which is everything that you need for a guy in the playoffs. This is just one game, so everything in this video is going to be a slight overreaction. But as I said earlier, with the two-headed monster and James and Joel, whatever else you get from this team is a plus. And from what we've seen in their opening night, James and Joel are going to be scary. This team has a very good chance of ending these 23 games left of the season very strong and heading into the playoffs on a high momentum. Where they finish, I don't know, but they have a chance to maybe creep into the top 3 and stay there. Let me know in the comments who is your favorite team to come out of the East. I'm still rolling with Brooklyn, but drop your answers in the comments. That's it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all next week. We out. Peace.